But women, you don't get creepy. You get hornier as you get old. It's weird. You want to do all your sexing between the ages of 30 and 50. But here's how sad things are. The value of vagina is only good from 18 to 29.
I never knew that I wanted to look at someone all the time or be looked at, so be seen so deeply. That really turns me on. I have to hit my mic. That turns me on. And also, I like to be choked a little bit.
I love that the first part.
And now I think at this age, I would say, can you try this or give that a try?
You get an older woman single, she's like, hey, I just want a man. He got a job, I'm happy.
He's so old like bread, not like wine. I don't want the waiter to bring me a vintage glass of twat. You'd be like, would you like a 52 stinky vagina from the funk region? You'd be like, ugh, better year than that, you ain't got to.
Oh, so embarrassing to say at 55. I don't think I've clearly chosen a partner that's compatible for me yet, with all I know. I'm too smart to have chosen what I've chosen, Yeah. I could have given myself the credit for how intelligent I really am.
I think that there are a lot of women that want men that they're not qualified for.
Ooh, Sarah.
I do. And this is what I mean by that. Please make a bar graph for yourself. 1 bar, okay? Next bar, same height. 6 bars, the same height. And one is going to be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, and energetically. What I want you to do is I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You cannot use 7. Where do you rank yourself? Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, and energetically. When you do those ones, add them all up and then divide it by 6 for your average of the number. What number do you have? If you haven't been to the gym and you are 75 pounds overweight, man or woman, do not give yourself an 8. Do not give yourself a 6. If you do not feel good, if you have low energy, if you know you ain't talked to God in 10 years, don't you give yourself no 9 on a spiritual level. If you know that you are so emotionally dysregulated and misaligned that you are incapable of navigating through conflict emotionally, you may not be that strong. So when you rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and you cannot use 7 in those separate areas, if you are a 4, don't ask for no 10.
For some reason, we just can't find good partners. We're 55 years old. And I'm not saying Cree was getting clapped up, but I'm only assuming she was based upon her saying that I've made bad choices. I'm way too intelligent to be choosing the men that I've chose. That's what I took from what she was saying.
Even actually when you were talking in the beginning about, the kind of people who approach you and like, well, that's just who approaches me. I'm like, well, who do you approach?
I don't approach anybody.
Why not?
I've never done that before. I don't think I've ever approached a man. I've never asked a man out.
Actually are. We have to be realistic with what it is that we offer.
Can I ask you?
Of course.
Where did you get that grading system come from?
I made it up.
What?
Because everybody is constantly comparing me to Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels does the physical thing. If you could give yourself a scale of 1 to 10, no makeup, no lashes, what would you rank yourself? You can't use 7. Okay, well, how are you as a whole human? Because that's really more important. And when you look at the wholeness, because I believe that's what real, true life success is when you mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, and energetically are happy with who you are. Obviously, you're excited for more growth, but you're excited about where you're at, right? So when you're actually there, you can look and see how I am.
One of the most difficult things for a lady to recognize is that when she's going through the process of finding herself, like Cree is, she's going through the process of becoming that woman that she feels so comfortable with, so feminine. Then all of a sudden she expects a man to recognize that. But the problem is the average man who you're looking for is looking for somebody much younger. Hey, it's a cold game, but it's absolutely the truth. Like when a man's coming up and he sees you and he wants to pursue you, but he's just not quite there in an area of finances and having himself together, it's okay for you to reject him because that's the way of the world. Because while you're waiting to get everything in line, nobody has to wait for you. Nobody owes you the understanding that you need at the time that you need understanding. It's a good thing, it's nice, but the person who's going to give you that understanding is probably the person that you don't want. Understand me?
If you're dating a woman in her 30s, that's like going to the grocery store and buying avocados. You better have a plan.
And it was funny because there's also a clip of Kevin Samuels some years back talking about the Tracee Ellis Ross types and why they go after younger men, because that's the only ones that would really deal with her. Like a CEO, a 58-year-old CEO of a Fortune 500 company don't want the Tracee Ellis Rosses of the world. They don't give a fuck about, you know, whatever she's accomplished. They want a woman who don't have a lot of mileage, that's gonna listen to them. They ain't gonna be talking back and all this bullshit and acting like, you know, shaking their head and all this nonsense. Yeah. So that's the type of man she would want, though. That's the type of man she would really want. But those type of men don't want her.
And this one's for the boss chicks in their later years, always talking about it's a shame that they can't find somebody. From Vivica A. Fox saying that one of the regrets of her life isn't having children. All the success in the world cannot bring the centering of what family brings, especially your family. From Vivica to Tracee Ellis Ross, absolutely beautiful ladies in their prime, looking good, aging gracefully in ways, but in ways they're aging like spoiled milk because their attitude, that boss babe, it's my way or the highway, got you sitting there by yourself on the highway. And if that's okay, lace them boots up and walk a country mile in them shoes. But beware, because you can sing those boss lady blues.
A lot of people think men date younger women because they're younger. No, men date younger women because they're less expensive to date. For the price of a pair of shoes. That's what it's like to date a 25-year-old. You go out with a 45, 50, they want more than shoes. You go out with a 45, 50-year-old, she's like, can you help me fix my roof? God damn, that ain't sexy at all. I gotta get estimates for this?
Polite savages.
We've already made the choice. Now you have to understand. We can never see past the choices we don't understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the polite savages, time keeps on slipping, on and on. Moves like a train that's forgotten the tracks, especially for the ladies who thought they had all the time in the world to do exactly what they had to do, get who they had to get. They thought they could have it all, but one thing for sure, having it all is a myth. As always, we're only here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And these truth bombs you see can be a bitter pill, but at times you gotta shut up and take your medicine. So there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Are you ready? Let's go.
You have blown your youth. You spent the years between 18 and 35 doing whatever the hell you chose to do. No heat, no judgment. But you blew your youth. When your counterparts who were looking to marry up and marry well were getting married their junior and senior year in college, the first and second year after college, they were married at 22 and 23, and you were laughing at those white girls and those Asian girls getting married at 22, 23. You get married after college, that's too young. We need to go on girls trips and having our best life and hot girl summer and all this other bullshit. Now, they're 10 years into their marriage, 3 kids deep, and their husband's a VP of marketing somewhere. And
you become a little more invisible the older you get as a woman, unfortunately. I spent a lot of my time being hemmed up in vanity, and now that I really can't be, I'm the second half of my life, and now I don't care so much about what it looks like. But it's hard in this town. This is not a place where I have the opportunity. I don't get asked out on a lot of dates. I never get asked out on dates. I don't know if it's being 55 in Los Angeles or if it's just a strange town,
There are countless examples of modern women waiting too long or looking past suitable mates because they feel like their value is far higher, overestimating themselves on the open market. So this is one thing that is true, and I really want to talk to the ladies here because I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to hopefully help you understand the situation that you are at. The game is afoot. If you're telling yourself that you're waiting for somebody, that you have to find somebody to meet your criteria to be a mate, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you go years and years and unable to find that person, it doesn't mean that that person doesn't exist. What it really means is that that person does not like you, does not want you. You cannot attract that person. You see, you are engaged in competition, a Mortal Kombat with your peer group is far vast than you believe. Because the first thing a lady says is that I'm not in competition with somebody 25 when I'm 35. That's ridiculous. But then what you don't understand is that 25-year-old wants the same criteria that you do. They want a man who's over 6 feet tall, successful, top percentile in earnings, handsome. And that person has a lot of options because he's not an average man. So you could be a strong 5 in the face looking for a strong 9, and guess what? You're going to be one of many, a harem. And he's there to share them because he understands one thing that you don't get. He has more options than you believe.
Welcome to Stay in Your Lane Insurance. How may I help you?
Why haven't you called me, and why can't I spend the night in your bed last night?
Well, let's see what type of package you have. I actually had you signed up last Saturday for our Smash and Dash package.
Smash and Dash?
It's actually one of our inexpensive packages, but doesn't come with a lot of benefits.
What does it come with?
Well, it comes with the standard would that could.
Will you call me?
No.
Can I stay the night?
Nope.
Cuddle?
Hell no.
Take me out?
Yourself.
What package does come with all that?
That actually falls under our girlfriend package.
And how do I upgrade to the girlfriend package?
We'd actually have to run your HOFAX.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Question number 1. Have you ever smashed any of my homies?
Yes.
Denied.
And I'm absolutely not saying that you're smashing everybody's friend group, ma'am. I'm not saying you're getting tossed around, tore up and tore down, passed around like a blunt amongst a circle of partners. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that you could just be totally regular, average, good-looking lady who values the wrong things about herself and doesn't understand that a man is looking for fit, friendly, and feminine. A man is looking for a helpmate. A high-powered man is looking for somebody to take the pressure off, to supply household love and warmth. And if you're a boss chick, a chick who's motivated, you may have not prioritized those things in your personality. And unfortunately, you can change, but maybe you just don't want to change because you want the man to change to be with you. It's a cold game.
I said, because I get you have options. You're handsome, you're successful, you will have options forever. So it really is in your hands, your fate. So you can tell me I'm great all you want, but you're not pursuing me, and I know why.
And you have to maybe just possibly look at yourself in the mirror and understand that the common denominator of the failing situation is yourself, ma'am. And this is no disparagement to you. You could be totally fine, beautiful, and capable, but maybe the things that you're valuing in yourself, a man just doesn't value. If you tell a man that I make this much money and you have to respect the fact of my education and my degrees and bring this much to the table to be with me, why does he care about your money if you want him to provide 90% of the household finances and up? It doesn't make sense, you dig?
Because I require too much, and that's all right. I'm okay with that.
What do you mean by that, though? What do you mean what do you require?
I require discipline and intention, and I require a level of like investment in terms of time. And you know what, it's like, you can say, oh, I took her to this restaurant, I took her to that restaurant, and I'd be like, well, what's my favorite color?
And there you have the dichotomy of a modern woman. You want a successful man, a man who's making a lot of money, a man who's doing everything and putting it down in the bed. You want it all. You want perfection, but here's the deal. A lot of times, in order to make the amount of money that you want a man to make, he has to spend 16 to 17 hours a day doing that, making that money. And then you expect him to come home and actually remember every little single detail about the life. It's not going to happen, ma'am. That man would rather do is be with somebody far more cooperative, ma'am. Understand that he is actually providing what she cannot find anywhere else, because here is the deal. If you want the top 20% of somebody, they are the prize, because there's only 20% of them in the world. Even if you think you are the top 1%, you have to understand that he may see you as the bottom 50%. The bottom line is chasing that top 20% man can get you broken and hurt on the side. Then you turn around and say there's no good men left. Well, you walk by the good men. You didn't want them. They didn't meet your standard. And the cold game is that there's a whole lot of chicks out there waiting to be side chicks for these men. They're going to extract the benefits of the relationship without the downfalls of the relationship. The evil side chick succubus will suck your relationship dry, and you'll never know until it's too late, because you thought you was ready for the show. It's a cold game in a cold world, and sometimes the truth hurts, but if you're scared, you got to take yourself to church. You dig?
Why can't I be your girlfriend?
I'm sorry.
This happened before you. I met him before you.
It's actually saying that you're not eligible. It's just a computer. But last Saturday, you did help us fulfill our random cheat quota of the month. You are a valued customer. Next.
And you women over 45, let me tell you something. You can't afford not to speak to anybody. You need to be speaking to everybody you see. Though you go through, you need to be like, hey y'all, I'm Cheryl. I brought potato salad. You need a bowl of potato salad every goddamn door you go through, because time ain't on your side.
Thank you for watching the Tip Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom. We're out.
We found true happiness.